And a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you in to another exclusive edition of your Giles County High School Bobcat Coaches Show right here live, as always, from Kitchen 218 in lovely downtown historic Pulaski. I'm your host, Wade Neely. We're presented each and every single week by Leadership Logistics Llc. He is Mr. Chris Bledsoe, and we are delighted to be with you. Chris, last week was the midway mark of the season. We're kind of in uncharted waters now, but Giles County gets a big win. Richland gets a big win. We're over the halfway mark, and it's time to rock and roll. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you as always, Wade. It's kind of unreal that we're this far along in the high school football season. Last week, the Cats get a big region win, super important. Again, it's just exciting, man, because the temperature's starting to change outside. The leaves are turning a little bit, and it's starting to feel – well, I'll take that back. It was starting to feel like football weather. Now it feels like we're back in the middle of July right now. But, again, Week 6 is rolled around here. We got a big matchup. A lot of middle school football going on. Just a lot of exciting things happening here in the county.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, you and I were over at Franklin County, and it was like 70 degrees, and it felt awesome. Today, as a matter of fact, we will not be joined by Bobcats head coach David O'Connor because they're having practice right now. They're having to practice later in the evening due to the heat advisory. And some parts of Tennessee got up to triple digits today. I mean, it is kind of a false fall, so to speak, right now, but we're still here.
You're exactly right. Me and you actually met a little earlier today off the air, and I had to come outside into the elements, and, man, I thought it was, again, the middle of July or, late June, as hot as it was. So, again, the football team having to make some adjustments here. We'll kind of keep an eye on that because that's something that may play a factor going into Friday night. Obviously, with those type of temperatures, you got to hydrate. You got to stay, again, in shape. You got to be ready and prepared for obviously a large Page team that's going to come into town Friday night. So, again, just a lot of things to kind of keep your eye on as this week progresses.
Going to be a fun one Friday night as Giles County does get Page. Richland goes on the road, taking on First Assembly Christian School over in West Tennessee. And, Chris, you and I were there last week. We were at Community up in Unionville. And even though it was 50-8, I know this is going to sound crazy, Giles County did not play a complete game. They still left a little bit on the table.
You're exactly right, Wade. They didn't look very good offensively in that ball game. Struggled in a lot of aspects. Just a lot of some miscues, some things that you obviously you can't afford to have going into the ball game against Friday night when you play Page. As talented, as athletic as Page is, they're going to do a lot of things well, and we've got our defense looked really good. Special teams has been probably the most consistent since we kind of figured out some of those punt issues we had earlier in the season. But, again, special teams has been super consistent. Our defense seems to get better and better each week. Offense still in a little bit of a filling out process, just trying to get some things well-oiled. And that's not the worst thing in the world. You never want to be peaking and playing your best football at Week 6 of the high school football season. Again, still 4 weeks away from playoff time. So we're getting where we need to be, trending in the right direction. It's just a slow roll right now.
Absolutely. Well said, Chris Bledsoe. Chris and I are going to take a quick timeout. It's not the only game. As a matter of fact, we had a huge game last night. Chris was there at Sam Davis Park. He was at the Brickyard, and we will hear a little bit later tonight from the Bridgeforth coaching staff as the Bridgeforth Bobcats get a big win. Chris and I will break that game down on the other side of this timeout. We will still hear from our Bobcat coaches, and we will hear from offensive coordinator Coach Corey Hickman's in the house tonight. We also, of course, got our special teams and scout team player of the week. Our show each and every single Wednesday here at 218 is presented by Leadership Logistics LLC. Chris and I will be back right after this.
Leadership Logistics LLC is an agency that helps companies enhance their brand while growing their business, as well as providing career development for young professionals. Whether it is a project or a career, professional guidance is valuable. We are experienced professionals providing fresh eyes and proven approaches geared to show you how to achieve your personal and professional goals. Regardless of your goals, success does not just happen. It is a byproduct of the people you surround yourself with and the guidance that is given to you. Successful strategies are not found in silos. They are found within professional networks. We can help you. Leadership Logistics LLC is an agency of elite professionals that have come together for one purpose: greater.
Jeff Bain is the founder and general manager of Leadership Logistics LLC. For more information, please visit their website at leadershiplogisticsllc.com. Citizen Media is everywhere. Get daily news, sports, and obituary updates in the Pulaski Citizen e-edition at PulaskiCitizen.com. Pulaski Citizen Live offers video and audio streaming of local sports, local meetings, and community events. Pulaski Citizen Social lets you know when and where the next event or update can be found. Love to hold that paper in your hand? The same Pulaski Citizen newspaper that's been printed since 1854 is available each week by subscription or on newsstands throughout Giles County. Tell your story with Citizen Media.
Pulaski Citizen Live is doing Giles County sports and community events like they've never been done before. Video of local government meetings and community events, as well as streaming of high school, middle school, and youth league games. Football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, and more are all on the PCL schedule throughout the year. Get your game called by the most recognized sports announcers in Giles County. So are you looking for your next meeting, event, or game? Make sure you tune in to Pulaski Citizen Live on YouTube and on the Mixler app. Just like that, we are back, folks. We come to you live, as always, from Kitchen 218 here every single Wednesday. It's your Bobcat Coaches Show, presented by the fine folks at Leadership Logistics LLC, alongside Chris Bledsoe. Wayne Neely, glad to be with you. Chris, second time we're going to hear from the coaching staff of the Bridgeforth Bobcats, and last night, I want to hear straight from you. I listened to your broadcast on Pulaski Citizen Live, and it was good to hear Mark Mize back on the airwaves.
Yes,
but
sir.
If you're a fan of the Bridgeforth Bobcats, it was a proud night to be a Bobcat as they racked up a 34-20 win versus Richland right there at the Brickyard. What did you take away from that game?
It was an electric atmosphere for a middle school football game. You look out in the parking lot about midway before our kickoff there. I mean, it's just flooded down there. You would have thought it was Friday night and high school was getting ready to play. It was a great atmosphere down there. They were celebrating homecoming on last night. Did a terrific job. But the ball game itself was probably top two games I've seen in the Brickyard in quite some time, high school and middle school alike. First and foremost, opening kickoff, you have an electric kickoff return by Todd Gardner, the kind of do-it-all back, wide receiver, backup quarterback. He just kind of does it all for Bridgeforth. He had a huge return to open the ball game up. But then on the very next possession, Richland gets it, and they got a sixth-grade quarterback. Yes, you heard it correctly, folks. He's a sixth-grade quarterback, and he just dissected the Bobcat defense. I mean, he dropped the ball down the field, makes some incredible throws as a quarterback period at the middle school level, but even as a sixth grader, what he's able to do, the placement of some of his balls, it was absolutely incredible. Schrader did a terrific job. They put some points on the board, and the game was just kind of back and forth like that all night long. Bridgeforth ended up coming out with a victory, 34-20 with the final score. Just a little too much offense and too much firepower for what Richland had to offer defensively. Not one possession did the Richland defense come up with a stop Friday night, and that's just a credit to Bridgeforth and credit to Bridgeforth's offensive coordinator, David Gardner, who does a terrific job with that group of kids, just putting them in positions to score the football. And, again, moving the ball around. They've got a lot of talented kids over there, and I think the scariest thing when you think about Bridgeforth and even Richland, because they've got young talent, is that a lot of their talent is seventh-grade kids.
Right.
So Todd Gardner being at the top of that list, he's one of those kids that you're going to look at next season and think, there's no way this kid is in the eighth grade. You know, he's probably 5'10", 5'9", as he is. He runs like a deer. He's got a super great head on his shoulders. So a lot to be excited about in Bridgeforth, but also a lot to be excited about for our friends in Linville as they played really well last night. Yeah,
good win for Bridgeforth, but a hard-fought effort from the Richland Raiders. Middle school season winding down. We had a South Giles game on Monday night. They did not fare as well. You were there yet again. You were not on air, but you were there doing public address duties. And South Giles, that concludes their regular season. Bridgeforth and Richland getting ready to cap theirs as well. So a lot to discuss, and we will talk middle school football. We're going to take a quick timeout. When Chris and I come back, we'll be joined by head coach Brian Hollister. Also, David Gardner and Morgan Witt are all in the house tonight. We're going to do a little rapid-fire segment and talk a little middle school football. It's going to be fun. If you're just getting settled in, we're at Kitchen 218. Every single Wednesday night we're here on the Bobcat Coaches Show presented by Leadership Logistics LLC. And Chris and I will be back right after this.
Leadership Logistics LLC is an agency that helps companies enhance their brand while growing their business, as well as providing career development for young professionals. Whether it is a project or a career, professional guidance is valuable. We are experienced professionals providing fresh eyes and proven approaches geared to show you how to achieve your personal and professional goals. Regardless of your goals, success does not just happen. It is a byproduct of the people you surround yourself with and the guidance that is given to you. Successful strategies are not found in silos. They are found within professional networks. We can help you. Leadership Logistics LLC is an agency of elite professionals that have come together for one purpose: to help enhance someone great to become greater.
Jeff Bain is the founder and general manager of Leadership Logistics LLC. For more information, please visit their website at leadershiplogisticsllc.com.
Pulaski Citizen Live is doing Giles County sports and community events like they've never been done before. Video of local government meetings and community events, as well as streaming of high school, middle school, and youth league games. Football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, and more are all on the PCL schedule throughout the year. Get your game called by the most recognized sports announcers in Giles County. So are you looking for your next meeting, event, or game? Make sure you tune in to Pulaski Citizen Live on YouTube and on the Mixler app. All right, folks, we are back. We come to you live each and every single Wednesday from Kitchen 218, lovely downtown historic Pulaski, alongside Chris Bledsoe. Now joined by the head man himself. Brian Hollister is the Bridgeport Bobcats head coach. And, Coach, welcome in. And, oh, ye of little faith, you said, I get a fancy headset this time. We told you we were going to hook you up.
Yes, sir, you did say you're going to step it up.
And we tried to do our best for you. How you doing, my friend?
Doing great, doing great. That was an awesome game last night.
You guys played very well. Chris kind of gave us a little bit of a breakdown. I would like to speak to you. Seems like the offense was clicking on all cylinders. Why were you guys so effective offensively?
You know, when you've got somebody as special as a Todd Gardner, you know, when you've got a Najee Harris, when you've got a Derrick Henry, when you've got a Nick Chubb, when you've got somebody like that who you can look to pick the ball up and carry his team, and these guys step into supporting roles and do their jobs that they're supposed to do, you're going to get the kind of results you saw last night. And that was just they played as complete a game as I've seen them play all season long, on both sides of the ball.
Was it a game going into it you felt like you needed to score every possession versus Richland? Because you guys obviously did that.
That was true. They did not stop us on any possessions. Every time we had the ball, we put it in the end zone. And it wasn't a matter of us thinking about that. It was just simply a matter of, like we talked about last time, this game is 3 years in the making. We had to cancel twice because of COVID. I know they were looking forward to this game. We were looking forward to this game, and so we wanted to make sure we went out there and made a statement that, you know, this was our house and this was our game. We were going to take it.
So that kind of happened early and often. When you look at what you guys were able to do offensively in that matchup last night, I think it starts with the opening kickoff. You see Todd Gardner, you mentioned his name earlier.
Absolutely.
Who was our outstanding in their field, Soda Pop Junction MVP of the ball game. He takes it to the house there, and then that kind of got things steamrolling for you. Talk to us about how you kind of control some of the excitement for your kids. Obviously, that's a big ball game, something you guys have been preparing for, homecoming as well, but you got to have a controlled rage, if you will.
You know, and that's, I think what you said is correct, controlled rage. I don't know as much as controlled as channeling it. You know, we let them know the build up to this game, and we talked about it every day. Look, it's Richland. Y'all know it's a big game. Even if it hadn't been 3 years in the making, it was always going to be a big game. And so, you know, they really buckled down, particularly this week. They hit their blocking assignments like that first play on the kickoff. Without those guys up front blocking like you're supposed to block, Tot doesn't break that play. So it takes 11 men on that field every single play, and they really, really bought into that this week, and, you know, the results showed.
You look at what you guys are able to do offensively, but then you take a look, you see on the flip side, obviously we're super glad to have this inter-county rivalry taking place again, but Richland's offense was super impressive throughout
Absolutely.
the ball game, especially the young sixth-grade quarterback who threw well over 150 yards last night. Talk to us about what you saw from the defense.
That's going to be interesting, you know, like I said, with Richland having that kid back there for 2 more years. You know, we're going to have to really step up and be ready for him for the next couple of years, because I have a feeling, you know, he's going to be pretty special. But we knew they were going to throw it. I talked to Coach Patterson before the game. He said, hey, just let you know we like to fling it. I said, hey, buddy, we're ready. Come on, let's go. And they did. They threw that ball well. We got legitimately beat on a couple of big plays. And, I think that made a difference in, of course, the scoring as well. But then, of course, again, when you've got a Todd Gardner that can turn on the Jets and go Mach 7, from the 20-yard line on one side and catch the guy at the 3, to have that X factor like that, we as you saw, we had to make a couple of adjustments in the backfield to kind of match up, particularly with number 7. He was their hot hands, and it showed. So we made some adjustments as the game went along. Maybe didn't make as many as we should have, but that's how you kind of live and learn on that. But being able to get those guys in the backfield and put that pressure on him, I don't think we hit him once, but we were half a step away half a dozen times, and then having to rely on throwing that ball because the running game was able to be shut down up front. With those twin towers again, like I said, with Bryce Rivers and Carter Garrett, that made a lot of difference.
And talking about we're talking with Coach Hollister here, head coach of the Bridgeport Bobcats, 34-20 last night. You can go back and you can listen to Chris and Mark's call last night. You can also read.
Absolutely intend to.
You can also read about last night's game at PulaskiCitizen.com. And kind of going over the notes, we obviously have discussed Todd at length, and you mentioned some of your offensive linemen. Who else showed out in a skill package for you guys last night?
We have a couple of guys on the end. Devin Wilburn is an 8th grader who has really stepped up, and he stepped up in a couple of different positions for us this year. We had an injury to our starting center a few games ago, and Devin stepped in seamlessly. Not a single missed slap on that game, so Devin Wilburn stepped up. We've got Darion London in the backfield. We've got X Randolph at quarterback. He's also a linebacker. Those guys are just this entire season. You just watch them grow and watch them learn, and they're still learning. They're still young. Some of them are very new to the game and haven't got as much experience. But to watch them develop as they have throughout the year, and to put a game together as completely as they did, even with some of the minor mistakes they made, was absolutely one of the most satisfying things I've ever had.
Big way to get a win versus rivals. What's on tap for the Bridgeport Bobcats
We
now?
have our 8th grade game coming up next week against Waynesboro Middle School, again at home. Last home game of the season. That's going to be our 8th graders and going to come out and get recognized. We're looking forward to bringing that one home, and we're on track to match the best record they've had at Bridgeport since I've been in charge. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Well, Chris and I have certainly enjoyed keeping up with you guys all season long, and still a little work to do as we head into the finale next week. But for now, at least, enjoy the win, Coach. We look forward to chatting with you here real soon.
We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. It is Coach Hollister. He is the head coach of the Bridgeport Bobcats. Again, 34-20. And Chris, Todd Gardner. With a little sprinkle here and there. Seems like Xavier Randolph played well at quarterback last night for the Bridgeport Bobcats as well.
Xavier did a good job last night just taking care of the football. To me, that was the difference in the ball game, what we saw last night. And then in the game that we had previously when they played Spring Hill, you can't turn the football over against good teams. And I think they learned a lot in the loss they had against Spring Hill earlier in the season because they did turn it over. They had a couple of interceptions, had a couple of fumbles, miscues, things of that nature that, again, against a good Spring Hill team, you lose that ball game because of what OC would call playing Santa Claus. And they didn't do that last night. And, again, to me, that's the difference in the ball game because Richland was one turnover, one switch of momentum from tying the ball game, maybe even taking the lead, and right on cue, our offensive coordinator, David Gardner, steps in. His offense did a great job of taking care of the football last night, again, led with Xavier Randolph at the helm.
Yeah, we're talking with David Gardner. He's the offensive coordinator. And, Coach, double thumbs up right there. Your offense played well last night.
Yes, sir.
We spoke to you a few weeks ago. Offense seems like it's been playing well all season. What was clicking in particular last night?
Man, our backs blocking out of the backfield. We puts a lot of emphasis on blocking out of the backfield. Been watching films, and a lot of them we wasn't blocking. Just what we call it drive-by. Drive-by and let them just run by, really. And we started putting hats on somebody, and it really opened up. The line really blocked good. So we got a man on man, and so hose was open, So we wasn't running 50 yards just to get 5 yards.
Right. which has been known to happen. And as I tuned into the broadcast last night, I didn't even have time to get in my seat, and Chris had the call. You guys started off with a great special teams play from Todd.
Yes. Man, I just can't say too much bad things about him because he's done real good. I mean, they kicked it right to him, and he took it to the house. He's getting where he see the field better. Usually just take off and run, and now his vision is getting a lot better. So, and making a monster out of him.
Yeah. And you kind of hit the nail on the head. And I know to our listeners out there, it's not that we're trying to harp on the same thing, but again, if you were there last night, you know why we keep calling his name. He
300 yards of total offense. I mean,
it's hard not to speak about a kid that picks up 300 yards total offense for a group. You see what he's able to do. Again, talk to us about the maturation process to see where he was last year as a 6th grader, and then now as a 7th grader being able to contribute such huge minutes. And again, we still haven't really reached the pinnacle of what he's capable of, even just at the middle school level.
The number one thing that's happened to him is confidence. 6th grade, he didn't have it. He had the ability, didn't have the confidence. Now he got the confidence, and now he's learning. So he got the confidence. Now he's learning more. I like about him, he's coming to the high school games, and he's looking at X and looking at other people, and a lot of people is putting it in his head, and he's listening to him about how to be a better back.
Right.
You got to take construction criticism to get better, and he takes it well. You know, in the early part of his life, he didn't. He shake his head down and shut down on you. But now he's picking it up, and he understanding. People trying to help him and help him out, and he's taking it to heart, and it's showing. Because he do it night in, night out.
And showing up like that, being the guy, that's what it's about, being able to be consistent when it's not fun being consistent, and when it's not easy being that leader. We talked about Todd. We've talked about X Randolph. Talk to us about some Bobcats that maybe we don't get a chance to call their name a lot. Maybe they don't show up on your stat report or something of that nature. But again, because we talked about the Twin Towers, as Coach Hollister talks about, and Carter, Garrett, and Rivers, but there are other kids that really play a huge part to this program. Talk to us about some of those kids that maybe we don't get to hear very a lot of.
Damari Allen, another young player. He's not strong, he's not fast, but he's quick, and he listens, and he's getting better. He picks up the dirty yards. That's what I call it.
There you go.
We had a problem catching the ball. We worked on it. Now he's becoming a two-headed monster. I can't run him like I want to because I got to save him from offense. But you're going to see more of him. Damari Allen. Y'all remember that name.
Damari Allen.
Then Cade.
Bankston.
Yeah, he's our cornerback. He held it down. He holds it down. He fights real good and calm. And our defense, I mean, he makes a big part of our defense. Our defense don't give up many points.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they helps us out. So it's got to be some people on there doing some things right. And Cade, he really worked hard and doing some things that I really like.
Absolutely. Sorry, Chris, and we're getting ready to transition to our third and final coach, member of your staff here. I asked Coach Hollister this. I want to ask you, David Gardner. Final game coming up in the regular season next week. What would you like to see, even though you guys basically played a perfect game offensively last night, what can you improve on for next week?
Man, that's a good thing. Playing our secondary. We got to play a little bit better. If we can get our secondary to play better, that's all I can ask for. I mean, because offensively, we didn't get stopped, and defensively, we just gave up big plays.
Right.
If we can cut down on the big play, that'd be a perfect game for me.
Awesome.
All right.
David Gardner, offensive coordinator, thank you for your time
Appreciate
as
it, Coach.
always, my friend. We'll catch up with you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank
Thank you very much. The head coach, now the offensive coordinator. We're going to bring in. I hate to do it. We always bring the linemen in last. They get almost no credit, Chris Bledsoe, but we're going to talk to Morgan Witt, I guess.
Morgan Witt has been accustomed to being that and playing that thankless role, if you will. He's done a marvelous job since he's been over at Bridgeforth, picking up the defense they've got over there, and really.
He's like a bull in a china shop getting in there.
Really, I was getting ready to say, really causing some ruckus over there defensively. No sooner than the words were leaving my mouth, he tried to kick over our table and chairs and awards and all kinds of stuff. He's an Elkton kid, and he's been known to cause trouble before. Rumor has it down there in Elkton. I won't call out any names, but we're so glad to have you here, Morgan Witt. Good to have you, man.
Oh, yeah. How y'all doing?
Doing good.
We're great. We're great. And, Morgan, we've already asked Coach Hollister and Coach Gardner, and I guess we might as well ask you the same question. What went well and why did it go so well last night for you guys versus Richland?
Really on offense is the run game. And I'm partial to the big boys up front. They did their job up front. We opened up massive holes, and Todd was able to take advantage. I think I heard y'all say Todd's name 1,500 times since I've been in here. Yeah, I got to give credit to those big boys. Everybody knows about Carter and Bryce, but there's a lot of other guys that go into it. You got Zion Walker playing center, playing big. He played a lot on defense last night, too, with Bryce going down, not feeling well. We had Monty Bryant step in, play some defensive end, too, as well as his guard position. Ty Robinson. Get some of them guys in there that help with Carter and Bryce and all them guys.
You talked about it. You named a couple kids, and that was kind of what we were talking with offensive coordinator David Gardner about kids that, like you just mentioned, that because of the nature of the position they play, we don't get a chance to call their names a lot. But you just named a few of those there. Talk to us about your offensive line. I know in middle school teams are kind of small, so a lot of those guys play offense, play defense as well. But give us some of your position guys. We know about Cartier, we know about Rivers, but some of those other 3 guys or 2 guys that fill spots.
Zion Walker, he's my really my backup do-it-all guy behind Carter. I can stick him in there at nose or at any tackle position. He can play any position across the line on offense. Monty Bryant's the same way. I just don't trust him to snap the ball too many times. Devin Wilburn, he steps up. Anytime I need him, I turn around, I just grab Devin and say, go in there.
He steps up and answers the bell.
Mm-hmm. Every time. Ty he came out and showed me a lot this spring and this fall as well. And Showdown earned a starting spot and played pretty solid for his first year of football. Really proud of him, along with some younger guys. The older guys, Malachi Hill, a tight end, made some big plays last night. Had to drop the one in the end zone. We was trying to get it to him.
I'm still heartbroken about that. I was looking, I'm just dead to the right. Great ball, great play call. Again, I thought he had picked him up a touchdown there. Last thing from me here, Coach, obviously you win a ball game last night, 34-20 final score. And Coach David Gardner touched on some things that were super important. There was not a lot of long drives where, again, they're just kind of grinding and pounding the ball. There were several big plays that kind of proved to be the difference in the game that allowed them to put points on the board. What are some things that you take away from that ball game that you go back to your guys and say, this is where we can improve and be better next week?
Really, it's just trying to get there a little bit step faster. We're sending some different stunts and blitzes off the edge, and it's like we were just getting there just a half second late. And as far as defensive backs go, we're waiting too late to open our hips and run with them. We're selling backpedal when they're running by us. So by then, you're just playing catch-up ball, especially with somebody as fast as number 7 was yesterday. It's great to have somebody like Todd then go chase him down.
Well, we saw that adjustment, Coach. A great job from you guys. That last couple of drives, we see Todd go over there. He picks him up. Kennedy from Richland, who was Aylin Kennedy, who was our co-MVP on last night. A terrific job there. But, again, those 2 kids, to see them kind of compete against each other, that's football at its highest level.
Yeah, I heard that we had a 6th grader at quarterback, so I was like, yeah, we're going to see if he can play in the pocket and play some quarterback. That boy can play some quarterback.
He answered the bell for sure.
Yeah, talking about Gavin Schrader, who's been lights out, and as was Aylin Kennedy last night. So, all in all, Morgan, I think a good effort from the Bobcats, which is tremendous. And you guys still got one more game to play. We look forward to catching up with you hopefully soon. And hopefully the Bobcats finish the regular season on a great note. But at least last night, you saved that one. Make Coach Hollister buy you some ice cream tonight.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. Morgan Witt, thank you so much for your time, brother. We'll catch up with you soon.
All right. Thank y'all for having us.
That is Morgan Witt. Chris and I have been having a blast talking middle school football. But on the other side of this timeout, we got a big old high school football game to get into. Giles County will take on Page. The Patriots will come calling this Friday at the Brickyard, and it is going to be a dandy. We will hear from Corey Hickman, and we will also present our special teams and scout teams players of the week. All of that is presented each and every single week, live from Kitchen 218 by the fine folks at Leadership Logistics LLC. Back after this.
brand while growing their business, as well as providing career development for young professionals. Whether it is a project or a career, professional guidance is valuable. We are experienced professionals providing fresh eyes and proven approaches geared to show you how to achieve your personal and professional goals. Regardless of your goals, success does not just happen. It is a byproduct of the people you surround yourself with and the guidance that is given to you. Successful strategies are not found in silos. They are found within professional networks. We can help you. Leadership Logistics Llc is an agency of elite professionals that have come together for one purpose: to help enhance someone great to become greater.
Jeff Bain is the founder and general manager of Leadership Logistics LLC. For more information, please visit their website at leadershiplogisticsllc.com.
Pulaski Citizen Live is doing Giles County sports and community events like they've never been done before. Video of local government meetings and community events, as well as streaming of high school, middle school, and youth league games. Football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, and more are all on the PCL schedule throughout the year. Get your game called by the most recognized sports announcers in Giles County. So are you looking for your next meeting, event, or game? Make sure you tune in to Pulaski Citizen Live on YouTube and on the Mixler app. All right, folks, we're into the high school segment here on Pulaski Citizen Live. It is the Bobcat Coaches Show, presented each and every single Wednesday night live from Kitchen 218 by the fine folks at Leadership Logistics LLC. Alongside Chris Bledsoe, I'm Wade Neely, and Corey Hickman. We opened up a little bit. He's there he goes. He's cracking a little bit of a smile. Coach, how you doing this evening?
I'm good.
We're glad to have you. And Coach O'Connor, he called me this morning, and I want you to tell in front of a nationwide audience if this story checks out, because he's been known to fib to me a time or two. I hate to admit
Not the Mad Hatter.
Yep, but it's all in fun. But he said you guys, because of the heat index, had to practice a little later, and I don't know if you drew the short straw or how that process played out, but you're here tonight. We're glad to have you. I don't know what he told you.
That is actually the truth.
Wow, okay. All right.
Yeah, because of the heat index, and we really feel like, it's important for us to fit up and just to see our run fits and how things are going to play out. It has to be done in pads. Kids really struggle and have a hard time doing that when you're just in shorts and T-shirt and in the heat of the day. So it was just really important for us. We felt like, obviously, playing a really good team this week, that we needed to do that.
Absolutely, and we'll talk more about Paige coming up in just a second. But while we got you, let's break down last week. A couple people have asked me, you guys win, and I say you guys, they're including me and Chris in this. You guys win 50-8, and we're still a little disappointed with the effort last week. What did you take away from your offense last Friday night?
Well, it's like you said, and going into games like that, kids, you can't fool kids. Kids know the other team's record, and they understand who they're playing. And obviously when you start allowing other players to try to build depth to get in there that wouldn't ordinarily be in there, kids recognize that kind of thing, and it's hard to bring the right kind of energy and everything, and we kind of equate that to the slow start a little bit. Now, that's not making any excuses now. We got to go out and execute better and play better regardless of who's in there. But, it was just kind of that slow, no energy, no start, and then we just had to go back halftime and just refocus.
Well, and you kind of hit the nail on the head. We talked about it a little bit in our pregame show, that the atmosphere at Community was more so like a library or a almost borderline like a funeral-like type atmosphere. It was just super quiet, from almost that whole pregame. What are some things that you guys can attempt to do to try to motivate? Because we know coaching high school football at any level, or sports at any level, is about motivating kids. And if you can't get those kids prepared to motivate, because, again, they do know. Like, what are some things you guys look at from that experience and think, well, if we run into this again, these are some things we can do to be a little more prepared?
Well, that's one of those things. It's, really who knows? I mean, to be honest, it's really who knows. And we explained to them going into this, you're going to have to bring our own energy. You're going to have to, we got to keep the sideline up. You can say all these things and you can try to, replicate some things in practice. You can, but with teenagers, you really never know. I mean, and like I said, obviously going on the road, it was just our kids. They really do feed off of that energy of the crowd. That's why we're really excited about playing Page at home. But, you know, it is just, you know, it is what it is. When you go on the road and you play in that kind of atmosphere where there's really no atmosphere at all, it's just, you know, it's
just
you know,
it's tough,
yeah.
and we get that, and you look at the situation, and we see that again. But no fault to Giles County, but unfortunately, that's kind of the nature of the region that we're in. You know, there's just not a lot of talented teams there. So you go from last week from playing a team that, again, no disrespect to the community, they're not on the same tier that we are,
right.
And then you jump up to this week as we're going to fast forward to Page here, where you're playing a team that was a silver ball recipient last year. I mean, played in the state championship, fell just short. Obviously, it's a lot different than what you saw last week. Talk to us about the preparation and what practices look like this week.
Well, Coach O'Connor obviously does a great job of lining up games for us. Our region, we play up, you know, 5A levels as much as he can, because he understands the region we play in. We're not going to have the competition that we need to see to get ready, you know, to go into make the deep playoff runs. So he does a good job of lining those types of games up. Now, like I said, obviously last week was good for us to kind of get healthy a little bit banged up, was able to really rest some guys, so that helped out. Hopefully it's going to pay off for us this week, but, you know, it's got to be with the kids. Preparation this week is so much better than what it was last week, and obviously for obvious reasons, you know, the kids understand the magnitude going in, so it's a little easier to motivate this week. You know, you don't have to say a whole lot. You know, kids can read. Kids, you know, they got social media, so they understand the magnitude of who's coming to town next Friday.
Talking with Corey Hickman, he's the offensive coordinator of Giles County. Giles County versus Page coming up Friday night. You can hear it on Pulaski Citizen Live. And Chris and you and Coach Hickman kind of touched on it. I do want to point out we should also be thankful for the atmosphere we do have at the Brickyard, because it wasn't a tremendous. It was within my lifetime, at least, that you go to the Brickyard, or Sam Davis Park, as it was more commonly known then on Fridays, and you'd get an atmosphere like you got at Community. So, if anything, we should be thankful, and maybe that shows through what we look forward to coming up on Friday. I do want to ask you, I know Coach O'Connor and the staff, you guys like to prepare ahead. How much of last week and now how much are you finally glad that you're here in this game week as far as implementing stuff just for Page, and is there wrinkles in the playbook that we have not maybe even seen just yet?
You know, you can expect a few more wrinkles. Like I said, obviously each week game planning for every team is going to be, obviously it's going to be a little bit different, you know, and last week we were just kind of bland, you know, it was kind of ho-hum. But this week, yeah, we're really what it is, it's about Jimmy's and Joe's. We're going to lean on some of our guys, our playmakers a little more this week, and, you know, expecting them to play up to the level of what, you know, understanding that, you know, we feel like we got some gamers. We got some kids, you know, who can make plays, and then, you know, we're going to lean on them to do that this week. It's just that simple. I mean, obviously there's going to be a few more wrinkles in, but, you know, we try to go in each week and have a balanced attack, you know. I mean, but everything obviously works off the run for us. We got to be able to run the ball to be able to execute in the throwing game. So, you know, we're just really hoping we can get that going early, and we're going to lean on our playmakers this week. You know, it's you know, it's their week to shine, and, you know, we're going to go as they go.
Absolutely. And, Chris, we'll come back to you just real quick. I wanted to ask Coach, seems to me kind of like a Nolensville type situation where everybody's hyping up the Page offense. You hear so much about the quarterback play. What challenges do they present defensively for you guys?
Oh, wow. Defensively, you know, they don't have a wow factor except for the fact that, you know, they all do their jobs. They're amazing. They just play pretty much base fundamental defense. They don't blitz a lot. You know, they just, when the ball's out, all 11 get after it. That's their wow factor. Everybody on there gives effort. I mean, you have defensive linemen that make tackles 20 yards downfield. They play sideline to sideline. It's hard to find a weak spot in that defense. Ordinarily, you know, game planning, you go into a game, you feel like you got a pretty good area that you feel like you can attack. It's, you know, it's really not there this week. It's harder to find those little, you know, weak spots, and, you know, that's the biggest problem as they present, is they really have no just outright weaknesses. You know, you can't look at a side, you can't look, you know, at a particular lineman or a particular corner and just say we got to attack this guy. It's just one of those where everybody, all 11 on offense, is going to have to execute for us to be able to move the ball and put up points.
Coach, you are the offensive coordinator here at Giles County. We're talking about, again, what Page defense presents to you guys. Talk to us about what you say to, again, some of your listeners here tonight that are looking when you see athletes like your DJ Gardners and you see your Tyreek Browns. You have a group that's so loaded offensively that are looking to kind of see that offense expand a little bit. Again, moving forward, what are some things that you would like to be able to do to kind of create some of those explosive plays in your pass game?
Well, we obviously as coaches, we try to figure out that we got to find a way to get more chunk plays. We do. It's hard to, have 10, 15 play drives and put the ball in the end zone every possession. It is really hard to do. So we've really been looking at that. How can we create more big plays, chunk plays, in the offense? And you're going to see that a little bit more this week. We like to think we got some things in the works to try to do that this week. And and obviously everybody loves offense. Everybody wants to see the ball in the air. They want to see you throwing it 30 times, 35 times a game. And, guys having, 150 yards and 2 touchdown catches. And, some teams are built like that. For us, it's, we're not really built like that. Now, we like to think we can be able to move the ball through the air if we can. But, a lot of times people got to understand the same struggles, when you struggle to even run the ball, people think that, you got to throw it, Well, those same guys that's stopping us from running the ball are going to be really hard to stop.
That's good, Coach.
when we try to throw the ball.
Sometimes even more so because they can pin their ears back and just get upfield.
Absolutely. So, obviously, trust me, Coach O'Connor and I, if we had the kind of kids, if we could get back there and throw the ball 30 times a game and just let it rip like that. Trust me, we love to score points. Nobody loves scoring points like we do, obviously, But and oftentimes it's what the defense is giving you. You just have to take in several factors. Like in Nolensville game, Nolensville was such a struggle because we didn't know who was healthy each day. It was difficult. It's difficult to call plays and formations when you kind of got guys banged up, and in and out, especially when you have some guys going both ways. And, you got to think about that. Do you want guys running, 10 routes in a series? You run a couple of posts and a couple of goes and run, and, then they got to turn around and go play defense.
Right.
And you expect them to play sideline to sideline there. So, some of the calls, some of the times we handle a series is, is so we can get a guy some rest, a guy that might be going 2 ways or might be in on certain formations or things like that. You'd love to be able to go 4 wide and, just spread it out the entire time and do that. Yeah, but, our biggest goal is, to get W's and try to get to the playoffs, hopefully healthy, and get a lot of guys some experience. And, we'd love to keep guys going one way as much as possible. Now, this week, we got a few more guys that's going to, have to touch on the offensive side of the ball. But, obviously we're trying to do the best we can. We win without, without just not being who we are. We still got to run the ball first.
And my last takeaway here for you, Coach, that's something I'm super glad to hear you say because, again, that's kind of been my objective from it all is you hit the nail on the head. When you're working with the number of guys that you have to work with, it's hard to go out there and have kids that are running, like you said, 8 or 9 25-yard routes or even whatever on offense when you expect them to start at your safety like a DJ Gardner or Tyreek Brown, another kid that we've mentioned. They're super talented kids, but they do so much for you defensively that I'm assuming you got to pick your spots for them offensively.
Hey, exactly right, Chris. Exactly right. It's like you said, we got to pick and choose our spots when we want to take shots, and like I said, it is really tough, especially when you compete against these 5A teams who got, 90-something kids on their roster who can afford to, not have guys go both ways. And, but that's just where we're at. We try to do the best we can with, what we got without trying to stretch ourselves thin and, and take away from the defense. Because obviously, there's been games where the defense has kept us in the ball games to be able to run the ball. And be able to score and win some games that way. So it is a tough balance, like I said, I understand, people want to see points and they want to, but we want to see wins, more importantly. and that's that's what we try to tell our kids. We got to kind of keep them grounded. Like I said, it's not about how many catches you have. I coach the wide receivers, and I try to beat it into their heads. It's not about how many catches you have. It's about making that big catch in that big moment. That's what we got to be about. Don't worry about the numbers. Worry about making the big catch in the big moment. At the right time. And we've had kids that have done that. And so got to keep preaching that team ball. And like I said,
Well, Coach, as you can see, we just can't be pleased. You put up 50 points last week, and we're still complaining about offense. So don't pay us any mind, Coach.
Absolutely. We're talking with Corey Hickman. He's the offensive coordinator here for Giles County. Final couple quick hitters here, Coach, and then we'll bring our student athletes on after a quick timeout. I'm contractually obligated each and every week to bring up one question about special teams. I got to ask you, how hard is it to be the kickoff coverage coach at Giles County High School right now when you got a kicker like Chase Carden who's putting them in almost every kick? Is it the easiest job or is it the most stressful job on your plate?
It has made it a lot easier. I've been doing that for a while now, and I'm telling you, it just you sleep easier at night. There's one less concern. I know in the past we would have to work. You're working sky kicks, different directions, and setting up different coverages, just trying to, to try to get, worry about field position. So, absolutely, to have a Chase Carden, it is nice, And I tell you what, and I'll a little shout out to Cooper White, I think Cooper White is going to be, Cooper White's coming along. So, hopefully, obviously we still got Carden for another year, but hopefully we'll have this good little run. But, special teams, it is and people don't realize how big a deal it is to have that guy to make the other team have to go 80 yards every time. It is so nice. But, I think I actually deserve this little bit of a break. I deserve to chase Carden, in my life for a little while. But, it is really enjoyable.
Absolutely. And final thoughts, and we'll take a break and then send the kids up here. We ask the coach every week to tell us a little bit about the two representatives here. And we got Jack Reese and we also got Dylan Williams. What makes their play on special teams and scout teams so critical, and why are they worthy of recognition here tonight?
Well, first of all, Jack come in and, his football, he had a pretty good football IQ. But the best thing about him is he shows up every day. He's got a great attitude. He's got a smile on his face. He loves to talk. Even though he's a freshman, he keeps our sideline up. If you watch Reese on the sideline, he is an entertaining young man. But he doesn't lack in confidence. He gets out there every time we have a scout team. He gets out there and does his best to give you the best look possible. And to see his growth from the time that we first got him to where he is now, the kid has made some great gains. All right. And Dylan Williams, on the other hand, it's one of those things where nobody ever really notices that person until they screw up. An extra point holder. Dylan is here because that dude is solid. And like I said, nobody would even notice, the job they do until they don't do it. It's kind of like centers. Nobody ever knows a center until they with a bad snap. Same way with it. So Dylan has really come on, and it is not an easy job to do, to catch a snap sitting on your knee and put that thing on a little block, a little 3x3 little block on the ground, and hold it with your finger. With somebody like Chase with a leg, and you got to just focus on holding that ball there. People, that's something that's people take for granted. And we don't, and that's why he's here, because he does a great job of it.
Absolutely. Coach, couldn't have asked for a better segment. As always, we certainly thank you for your time, and best of luck on Friday, okay?
All right. Well, I got to give a quick shout-out to my wife, Erin. All right, like I said, she holds it down with the kids and whatnot, and she's actually at the emergency room right now with our little one. He's having a little trouble, so I just want to say, if you listen, I love you, baby.
Oh, okay. Well,
there we go.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
right.
That is a great husband and a great coach. How about that? Coach
right.
Hickman, thank you for your time, brother.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all for being here.
Corey Hickman, folks, he's the offensive coordinator. He is in the running for kickoff coverage coach of the year in the state of Tennessee, I think, Chris Bledsoe.
Probably going to win that award running away.
Yeah, and he also is kind of giving us a little backstory on our two recipients. Final segment of the night is coming up. We'll hear from Jack Reese first, and then we'll hear from Dylan Williams. They're your scout team and special teams player of the week. And all those awards and our show each and every single Wednesday here at Kitchen 218 are presented by Leadership Logistics LLC. Chris and I will be right back after this here from Kitchen 218.
Leadership Logistics LLC is an agency that helps companies enhance their brand while growing their business, as well as providing career development for young professionals. Whether it is a project or a career, professional guidance is valuable. We are experienced professionals providing fresh eyes and proven approaches geared to show you how to achieve your personal and professional goals. Regardless of your goals, success does not just happen. It is a byproduct of the people you surround yourself with and the guidance that is given to you. Successful strategies are not found in silos. They are found within professional networks. We can help you. Leadership Logistics LLC is an agency of elite professionals that have come together for one purpose: to help enhance someone great to become greater.
Jeff Bain is the founder and general manager of Leadership Logistics LLC. For more information, please visit their website at leadershiplogisticsllc.com.
All right, folks, it is time for our final segment here. One of, obviously, our really, Chris Bledsoe, it's the most fun segment we get to have every week. We get to hear from our student athletes, and we get to hear from our scout team and our special teams players of the week. They're presented by Leadership Logistics LLC. And we've got Jack Reese holding it down across the way. The freshman is going to receive our scout team player of the week. Jack, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good.
We're excited now. Coach Hickman was singing your praises a minute ago. I'm not going to tell you what all he was saying, but he said you bring the juice every single day. And for me, I'm kind of a juice guy, and I dig the intensity, my friend. So that's high praise. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Jack, so you win your scout team player of the week. We'll go ahead and get you this award here. So, man, talk to us about what it's like. I believe it or not, many, many moons ago, I was a freshman too. And one of the reasons that I didn't end up playing football was because of scout team. Because I realized that you're playing and you're having to run the ball against some of those larger senior linemen and linebackers. What are some things that you go into it thinking that I'm going to give them the best look I got here?
Whenever I go in, I look around, I be like, dang, hold on. My fault.
You're all right. You're good.
Whenever I go, Dangerfield, he told me to keep my focus, pay attention to everything, and you'll be good. That's one of my biggest shout-outs to Dangerfield. He taught me how to get good at corner and stuff. So whenever you go in there, just oh, my God. I'm nervous.
Hey, you're good, dog.
Right, man. You're doing just fine.
But the offensive line, they pretty good this year. I go in there. They do their blocks. I get off my blocks. They tell me I'm getting better every day. I'm improving, and that's what I like to hear.
Job well done, man. That's what it's all about each and every day, getting a little better and a little better. Now, again, next time you come back, bring me some of those wings, too. You didn't even ask me and Wade if we wanted some of that 20-piece you had over there, man. What's going on with that, Jack?
Well, it was pretty good. It was a 6-piece, though, but the barbecue, it was a little good. It was spicy.
There you go, man. Well, you get back over there and get those laps in. The OC's waiting on you over there, all right?
Nah. I ain't getting no laps in.
Jack, congratulations, my friend, and we're going to see you on Friday night. Real quick, give a shout-out to any Bobcat fans. Tell everybody to come out and check you guys on Friday.
Friday night, come and check us out. Bobcat Nation, let's ride, baby.
All right, perfect, Jack Reese. Congratulations, bud. We'll see you soon. He wins your Scout Team Player of the Week. And one other final bit of business here before Chris and I wrap things up. We're going to get Dylan Williams on up in here. Jack, there's a little bubbling underneath there. We kind of got him warmed up a little bit. I don't think that'll be the last time we'll hear from young Jack.
I don't think so at all. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching, you can't really tell it, but Jack Reese is probably 5'10" and a half, and he is about legs up to about my chest area. The rest is just he's a long, lanky individual. He runs kind of like a jackrabbit. He can absolutely fly. He's going to be really special as his Bobcat career goes along. Speaking of special people, we've got Mr. Dylan Williams, your special teams player of the week.
Yes, presented by Leadership Logistics Llc. We welcome in Dylan Williams. Dill, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good.
Hey, we're excited to have you. And we asked Coach Hickman, and I'm just going to, just between us, pretend he's not even here. How hard does he get on to you guys at special teams, or do you guys, do y'all kind of tell him what to do out there on special?
He gets on us pretty hard.
He does?
Yeah.
Okay. More so than the offense?
No, I'd say he gets on the offense a little bit harder.
Okay.
Than special teams.
So with that being said, you guys have had a great special teams year. We certainly have been talking about your play in regards to holding. What kind of goes through your mind on those extra points? And we've already had 2 nice field goals this year from Chase.
Just hoping that it's a good snap. I don't mess up the hold.
Have you had, at least whether it's in practice or in a game, if there is a bad snap, how does that change your process? Because we know you got some athleticism. Do you kind of almost deep down hope there's a bad snap so you can just pick it up and take off and run every now and again?
Yeah. If it's a bad snap, usually I have to roll out, and some people go out for a pass the ball to them.
I love it.
Dylan, I know you are our special teams player of the week here this week, but I want to go back to opening night. Lincoln County comes into town, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you had a few snaps at wide receiver. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Take us back. I know that's a couple of weeks removed now, but take us back to those moments. It's opening night of the season. The lights are bright. You've got Lincoln County there in a close ball game. I remember I believe it was a 3rd down play. Kamari Turner rolls out to his right, and there you are just open as a gate and have a huge hands catch. What are some things that you're looking forward to, not only the rest of this season, but even next year, about being able to show your wide receiver skills?
Just hoping they put me out there so that I can produce. Show off what I can do.
Make plays happen. Now, obviously, you're here for special teams. You've got what I consider to be one of the second most difficult jobs when you talk about a kick. You've got to hold it. Now, in my mind, all I can think about is the leg of Chase Carden, how strong it must be, and the fact that the good Lord only blessed you with 2 index fingers, 1 on each hand. If he happens to kick that finger, what are you going to do? Because you can't buy another one on Amazon, Dylan.
Yeah, I don't know. He kicks pretty hard, so it's kind of scary down there.
I can imagine, man. So, and I'm assuming when you catch a snap, and then we'll let you go, Dylan, it's a catch, and then you putting it on the ground. Are you holding it with, how do you hold your snap when you catch it?
Just the index finger on it.
So I was right. He's only got 2 of them, Wade. So now listen, you tell Chase be extremely careful. If not, he's got to buy you a finger. All right, man?
All right.
Hey, listen, this is your special teams of – let me get the name. For your outstanding special team player. You are the special teams player of the week. We appreciate you, Dylan Williams.
Appreciate you.
Thanks to Dylan Williams again. And, Chris, you made a great point. Go back to week 1. Giles County needed a couple big catches, and he was the first man on the scene as Giles County's passing game has slowly started to develop, but they've got a good one right there should they need to go back to him again.
Again, he was one that kind of stepped in and played some minutes for kind of a banged-up Giles County team going into the opening game of the season, and had several big catches, and we kind of talked about it with him when he wasn't here a couple of weeks ago, that the ball's thrown his direction and everybody kind of takes a big and then he reaches out there. Great hands catch. Obviously, he's got good hands. He plays wide receiver. He's also your holder, so he's got really good hands. A lot of talented young underclassmen for this Bobcat team that we've got a lot to be excited about moving forward.
Yeah, the Bobcats are playing well. Chris, they're sitting here at 4-1. They got 5-0 Page. Page is ranked number 1 in the AP poll in 5A. Giles County is still at number 4. You want to talk about a good high school football game. if Giles County shows up and plays well, we kind of anticipate Page is going to bring what they always do. But if Giles County shows up and plays well, we could be in for an absolute dandy on Friday night.
It has the making of a absolute Donnybrook of a football game, and what Page does offensively, what the Cats like to do offensively, what Page does defensively, as well as what the Cats like to do defensively. It matches up. It's a ball game that these two teams used to be rivals. So, again, Page is going to bring a nice crowd. I'm expecting Bobcat Nation to show up in Groves Friday night to support the Bobcat. The atmosphere is going to be electric. You got two talented teams. It's going to come down to Friday night at 7 o'clock when toe meets leather. Who wants it more?
Absolutely. And Chris and a very special guest. That's all we'll say. Will be there. I have done a solid. I'm not trying to puff my chest too much, but I'm going to be on the call of the Richland Raider broadcast, which, speaking of the Richland Raiders, folks, they're now 4-0. Big win last Friday versus Cascade. They go on the road over to West Tennessee, basically in Memphis. They take on FACS. I'll be on the call over in West Tennessee on Friday, but they have their own coaches show tomorrow night. Mark Mize and Jennifer Hawkins will talk to Raiders head coach Nick Patterson. And, Chris, you and that mystery person, it's going to be fun. I'm hoping our game gets over early so I can tune in, because I know it's going to be a good game, and I know you guys are going to have a lot of fun.
We won't call any names. We'll let that be the teaser. But, again, there will be a special guest with us on Friday night that's going to join us in the booth. I'll be there doing the play-by-play as, again, our fearless leader, Mr. Neely, will be over in the Memphis area. So, again, Richland, like you just touched on, 4-0 now, could easily be 5-0 at this going into 5-0 at this time Friday night. So, again, a lot to be excited about for our buddies up north in Linville. But also, I don't think there's going to be a better football game in all of the state than what's going to happen right here in Pulaski Friday night as Page Patriots show up to the Brickyard to take on your Giles County Bobcats. This is a game that's been 2 years in the making. We've been waiting on this. We didn't get a chance to play last year due to some complications. So, again, we're super excited about it. I cannot wait to get to the Brickyard on Friday night.
It's going to be a good one. That's all the time we've got, folks. We are here each and every single Wednesday. Well, except for next Wednesday. Giles County's on a bye week, so a little bit of a jump the gun there. But in 2 weeks' time, we'll rejoin you guys here at Kitchen 218, and hopefully we'll be talking about the Bobcats coming off a big win versus Page. For my good friend, Chris Bledsoe, best of luck on Friday night, my friend.
Same to you, partner. I can't wait. I'll be keeping you updated as the game goes along, trying to keep my composure. I can get a little bit – I'm the Jack Reese of this bunch right here. So I'm going to do my best to keep it under composure and have a good one, man.
Thanks to Chris Bledsoe. We also thank Bridgeforth head coach Brian Hollister, offensive coordinator David Gardner, and line coach Morgan Witt. We also spoke to offensive coordinator for Giles County, Corey Hickman. Bobcats head coach David O'Connor could not be with us tonight. They were having practice due to the heat index that was a factor today. We also gave out our scout team player of the week to Jack Reese, and our special teams player of the week honor goes to Dylan Williams. I'm Wade Neely saying so long. Good night from Kitchen 218. And we are presented each and every single week by the fine folks at Leadership Logistics. We'll see you soon right here on Pulaski Citizen Live. Good night.